Hey everyone, welcome back to the Luminary, a Halo podcast. My name is Josie.
And my name's Monica.
And we're here with just a quick, fun little episode we were wanting to do. Just chatting about one of our favorite topics. We're going to be talking about Huragok today.
Our favorite topics of all time.
Yeah, that's fair. Easily one of our favorite things in Halo.
We should probably put a warning on this episode that it will contain the word cute over and over. And multiple ahs and just general gushing about these guys.
Just a few, just a bit, yeah. I thought you were going to get a spoiler warning ready first. I'm like, yeah, but then I'm scrambling to think which ones exactly, because there's a few we got to list out.
The spoiler is everybody loves these guys, and we will...
Well, you say that! You say that!
Except for their creators.
Let's see, the Brutes don't respect them, the Forerunners didn't respect them. Yeah, that's about it.
Well, they're dumb. They don't know a good thing when they see it. Not even the Forerunners.
Yeah. You can tell a lot about a person by the way they treat a Huragok.
Yeah, exactly.
That is objectively true.
These are the engineers, for those who don't know
who don't speak Halo.
Who don't speak Halo. The big floaty jellyfish that you see, particularly in ODST.
The living embodiment of tech support.
Yeah. The
Covenant's IT department.
The did you try turning it off and on of Halo. These guys are actually pretty special. They're not actually, because I bet people probably think like, oh, they're part of the Covenant, they're just another alien species, but they're a little bit unique in the Halo universe because they're a biomechanical race. They were created by the Forerunner builders, actually.
Of all people.
But they were used for maintenance of Forerunner systems and equipment and stuff. And the Forerunners didn't even like them. They thought
they were gross. Like, you're going to make this very capable and intelligent species to help maintain your own buildings, and then you think they're gross. Really? Disrespectful. Born Stellar. Okay, so the part in the book of it's Cryptum, right? Pretty sure I think it's yeah, it's in Cryptum.
Yeah. He says that they're disgusting. He doesn't like the gas bladders or whatever. And I wrote in the margin, I was like, I think I said like, shut the fuck up, Born Stellar. I hate you. Any other day, I'm like on your team, Born Stellar, but like you start dissing Huragok and I can't handle it.
You can be the best person in the world, but you say anything negative about the engineers and you're immediately on thin ice. Yeah.
And it's actually, so I'm making a big, like, kind of joking about it, but I think that's kind of a cool take because they didn't let Huragok into society, right? Like, they didn't even let them out in public.
Yeah. They just were behind the scenes, maintenance workers, that's it. They were just there.
Yeah.
But they weren't there. You weren't supposed to see them.
Yeah. I think that's an interesting take from the Forerunners that they wouldn't, I don't know if appreciate is the right word, but have an opinion that is so far removed from the general Halo fan opinion of Huragok.
Yeah.
And I mean,
and on top of that, like, the stewards of the mantles, guardians of all life, create their own creature, this own entity, this own new life to help them, like, maintain their stuff. And then they go ahead and not treat them well.
Yeah.
That's, says a lot about the way that the Forerunners held the mantle of responsibility.
And just kind of like how life is viewed a little bit.
Yeah. All life is important. Some life more important than others.
Yeah.
The Forerunners. Please don't take my words out of context.
Yeah. I actually think it's interesting, too, because these books Cryptum came out in 2011. And so, like, Huragok have been established for the longest time. I mean, they were supposed to be in CE.
They were.
And they were cut. But I think they were supposed to be, like, from the day one, they were supposed to be an alien species that you kind of feel sympathetic towards, where they tried to make the player feel bad if they killed it.
Yeah.
But, again, they didn't make the cut in CE, but I think, like, from day one, they were supposed to be really sympathetic. So, from 2001...
They were modeled, too. So, like, I think, like, the model is still in the game. And
yeah.
you can, like, pull it out, but they were cut at the last minute, it seems like.
Yeah. And so for like from 2001 all the way to 2011, you know, this is how kind of they're supposed to be viewed. But it's just really, again, major kudos to Greg Bear, who kind of took that and spun it on his head for the sake of painting the Forerunners it's like this haughty, holier than thou kind of species. It just, I don't know. I hate I hate the Forerunners for not liking Huragok.
Yeah,
but at the same time, it makes sense.
The Forerunners aren't valid, honestly. They're not. Let's be real here. They're kind of jerks. But yeah, in 2009 when ODST released, we got like our first like actual. I mean, they weren't the novels earlier than that, but as far as the games are concerned, we met them in ODST.
Yes.
And Bungie really nailed the whole they are sympathetic and we're supposed to care about them and feel bad if we hurt them vibe of the Huragok.
Yeah. Let's talk about ODST, because the other thing I wanted to talk about in this episode was our just a couple of our top favorite Huragok.
Right.
I feel like Quick to Adjust is right up there for both of us.
Absolutely.
Virgil, for those, again, because I don't think he's named in the game. I'm pretty sure Quick to Adjust.
I don't think so.
I think they just refer to him as I think when you see him through the rookie's eyes, I think on the HUD he's like VGRL or something.
Yeah. I think they just call him the engineer, but on the heads up it is just like an abbreviated Virgil.
Yeah, but same thing as you were saying, they just make him seem so cute.
Yeah.
They're just so cute. Maybe this will be a podcast where it's a drinking game. Drink every time we say cute.
Is that dangerous? That's very dangerous. I don't want that on my conscience.
Okay, don't do that, listener. But yeah, the brutes were outfitting the Huragok and the explosive devices, and it's just really sad. And they struggle with him, or they struggle sometimes to try to put the harness on. And they punch the Huragok in the stomach or something. I don't even want to.
It's really brutal when you run into that in the campaign.
Yeah.
It hurts to see.
Yeah.
It hurts just thinking about it, honestly. It's really sad.
Yeah, I'm an average crier when it comes to things like that. Sad movies, books, TV. I think I'm average. Not particularly soft, but I'll cry if it's famously sad or really whatever. Right. Pretty average.
Oh no, I'm a crybaby.
But when it comes to Huragok, just the thought of any Huragok feeling slight discomfort, it causes instantaneous tears for me. Anytime one is mistreated or in pain, no lie, I'm kind of tearing up right now just thinking about them.
That just shows the engineers, their whole purpose was executed perfectly.
Yeah.
You want to love them. They are friend shaped.
Yeah. So Quick to Adjust had 6 buddies. 6 other engineers who helped him escape from the explosive harness in ODST. And they died to save him. What's special about him is he kind of meshed with the superintendent of the city, the artificial intelligence of New Mombasa, or at least a subroutine called Virgil.
So we're going to talk about Sadie's story just a little bit, I think.
We are. There's a whole bunch.
So in Halo 3 ODST, there is a series of audio logs you can collect that give you a side story that happened, I think just the day before you landed in ODS in New Mombasa. And it follows this girl named Sadie Andesha as she's trying to find her dad. And in the story, you find out that her dad, who is... He runs maintenance or support or something for the city's AI, for the superintendent. And you find out that he wrote a little subroutine called Virgil that watches over Sadie, like a little babysitter that he wrote when she was younger and he was away at work. So there's just this one little subroutine in the city's AI that watches over Sadie. As ODST goes on, you find out that Virgil, or Quick to Adjust, in downloading the superintendent's data into himself, he also downloaded the Virgil subroutine. So now Quick to Adjust is very protective of Sadie.
That was a great rundown. That was perfect.
Yeah.
So we see Quick to Adjust kind of come into Oni's purview.
Clutches?
Clutches is probably is better. Yep. So he and Sadie are now kind of Oni assets. We see them in New Blood and Bad Blood.
Yeah.
And I hope to see them in the future as
they're,
well.
They're still around, and may they continue to be around.
Yeah. Yep.
Please.
They're special. It's a special story in the Halo
yeah.
universe. We have another Huragok we wanted to highlight in this podcast.
Oh, our little angel.
Our little angel.
So the next one we want to talk about is Roams Alone. We really love Roams Alone. We're very invested in Roams Alone's safety.
Very invested. Roams Alone shows up in one book. He is a particular type of Huragok, a life worker Huragok. So all the Huragok you see throughout the whole Halo universe are builder Huragok, like fixing mechanics and equipment and, non-biological things. But life worker Huragok actually fix biologicals.
They're little surgeons.
So we see Roams Alone in Last Light, Halo Last Light.
Our bias totally isn't showing.
Our bias
in any way.
Look, I'll go on record on saying I love that book, yes, and I love Veda, of course. But if you didn't have any of that and you just had Roams Alone in any other story, I still would love Roams Alone just as much.
I want a novel just about Roams Alone, honestly.
And I want a whole backstory on the life worker Huragok. I mean, the thing with these
they're smaller,
guys,
they're green.
Yep, they're smaller. They don't glow. They're just kind of green.
Yeah, I think they smell pleasant. I think.
I don't remember that.
I don't either. I might be pulling it out of thin air, but
it's facts. They do.
Sure, yeah.
You heard it here. They do. Of course. Why wouldn't they?
We could just ask Troy.
We could. Yeah, this guy's so cute. He was part of the Forerunner base in the cave system of Gao. And he thought that his whole existence was to care for these little cave creatures. Like all of the little tiny, troglodytes of the caves.
Yeah, all these little lizards, all these little blind fish.
Yeah.
Roams Alone would just kind of float around the caves and help them out.
Yep, and he thought this was his life purpose, was just to tend to these little colonies. And in fact, he's just so cute. In fact, he was
so sweet.
He survived the cave-in. So after Intrepid Eye came alive, woke up.
After Intrepid Eye came around, yeah.
And she tried to activate the base and send reconnaissance probes or something after she got the distress beacon. The whole cave came crashing in just because it was just
old and decrepit.
Yeah, that. In Last Light, it says that Roams Alone was tending to his crayfish colony when he would have died if he hadn't been with his little, I think it was a little crayfish colony. Just picture a Huragok, a small green Huragok hovering over just little pools in the cave, tending to his little creatures. I could just watch, I could just have a story on Roams Alone.
Yeah. But I feel him. I totally get that. I've been to tidal pools and just looked at the cool little critters in it.
Yeah.
So I can't blame him for just wanting to take care of his little crayfish pool.
Yeah. And eventually he comes into contact with Blue Team and Veda and the Gammas and
the Keepers of the One Freedom.
Yep, the Keepers. He saves Olivia's legs. Olivia would have, I guess, lost her legs if
they were pretty banged up.
They were pretty banged up. She gets crushed by a boulder, right?
Her legs. I think her legs get crushed by a boulder, and then she jumps up and tears a
broken
sentinel
legs,
apart.
Goes to just play rodeo with the sentinel.
Oh, the Gammas. Oh, Gammas.
But Roams Alone floats into view, and the Gammas are like, "Okay, stand down. It's just a Huragok." And they're like, "What are you doing to Olivia?" Olivia's like, "Stop! I think he's working. I think it's working." So yeah, I think, and then they drag him kind of all over Gao a little bit.
Yeah.
Or at least they try.
Poor guy just wants to go tend to his pets.
Yeah.
But, at least it ended up okay. He ended up giving Oni the slip.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Keepers found him too, but bless Castor. God, Castor just saw him. Was it Orsun who wanted to capture him?
Yeah, because Castor was injured, and Roams Alone helped him, fixed him, and Orson wanted to capture him, but Castor was like, no, what is it? We do not deal in the fate of angels?
It's not up to us to decide the fate of angels.
Decide
Something
the fate
like
of
that. Yeah.
yeah. And he
So
lets
like,
him go.
yeah, that's the most heartwarming thing.
Yeah. I know this is weird, but I want Castor and Rome's Alone to like encounter each other again.
Yeah.
Somehow. But that's the last we see of Rome's Alone.
Hmm.
We didn't see him in Retribution. He was mentioned, but
Yeah. He's probably still on Gao, like, taking care of all the other wildlife now that he's out of the cave.
yeah, probably.
So he's
What is he
looking it up.
doing? Yeah, is he just
hope he's
like
doing
going
well.
around Gao and
If Casil looks at him the wrong way, I'm gonna shove another nuke down his throat.
yeah, that's like he better be hiding. He better be just
Yeah.
like be hiding in the jungle.
Yeah.
Hopefully we see him again.
Yeah.
Small baby.
Good boy. Precious boy.
Yeah, those are a couple of our favorites. We do have a couple shout outs.
I mean, we can't forget Lighter Than Some.
We cannot forget Lighter Than Some.
So no, there was I was gonna say I think Lighter Than Some was the first Huragok we got in the novels, but there was a group of no, they showed up in Fall of Reach too, but just in passing. John just saw them like taking
Through
apart a
the-
car engine and putting it
Yeah,
together.
true.
But there were some Huragok in First Strike aboard the Ascendant Justice, was it? It's been a while since I read that book, but I think it's the Ascendant Justice.
I think you're right.
Yeah, they fixed up John's suit and then oh god, that Oni guy. Again, I haven't read in forever, so I don't remember his name.
Haverson?
Haverson, I think. Yeah, yeah. Just
Haverson.
shot the poor thing. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, they know too much. It's like, don't do that to the Huragok.
Yeah.
The engineers deserve better.
That was pretty heartbreaking.
Yeah, especially even John realized like, oh no, he's just trying to help. Okay, this is fine.
Yeah, and then John leaves, and then Haverson's like, he's like, these are fascinating creatures, and he takes a pistol and just like blows the Huragok out of the sky. Cortana's like, what are you doing? But then
he knows
like
too much.
he
It's like
doesn't
you don't know what you're talking about.
he doesn't feel like it's kind of a sentimental part. You can tell like he's unhappy with that he had to do this.
Yeah.
And then Cortana is like really she understands, but she's not happy.
Yeah. Yeah, real quick, back to Lighter Than Some then. So he was I guess he's the first named Huragok that we meet. He's in Contact Harvest.
Oh yeah.
And Lighter Than Some. I mean, there's nothing very notable about Lighter Than Some, other than he's like the first Huragok. He has an Ungoi friend. Was it Dadab or Yap?
Yeah. Dadab.
Dadab, yeah. Dadab. Dab.
Dab.
So he was friends with the grunt. I think they were like one of the first contact in the Human Covenant War. Lighter Than Some also scored the first kill in the war. So they were aboard. Yeah, they got aboard a human freighter, and the pilot snuck up onto Dab and was gonna like bop him over the head with a fire extinguisher. And then Lighter Than Some just picks up this rock that he and Dab used to play like this little rock skipping game, and just nails the poor human pilot right between the eyes. It's really impressive.
It's also really unusual. We don't
Yeah.
see Huragok be violent all that much.
I mean, also like more so he was trying to protect his friend, but like
Yeah.
like the people say like, oh yeah, the engineers don't have a lot of culture, they don't have attachments to this, that, and the other thing, and that's objectively false. They do grow close to people, they do have feelings, they are just as living as any other creature. So the fact that like Lighter Than Some was so quick to defend his friend, I love that. Mm-hmm. He also invented the chopper.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Accidentally. No,
Accidentally.
on purpose. It was supposed to be a peace offering. It was
It was a plow. It was
was a
supposed to be a
plow.
plow.
because he noticed like, oh, harvest is an agricultural world. As a peace offering to make them this like really cool plow so they can do good farming. And the Tartarus is like, damn, let's slap some spikers onto this bad boy.
Accidental weaponry. Yeah.
I hate Tartarus. All my homies hate Tartarus.
Yeah. That definitely deserves a shout out.
Yeah.
Accidental brute chopper invention. It's like penicillin, except
like-
the opposite of what you do.
You know, the brute chopper, like penicillin.
Except the opposite.
You know, like penicillin.
Yeah. And for I think First Strike actually, there's some moments in Halo, some like parts in the books, in the games and stuff where like really stick out to you.
Mm-hmm.
And in First Strike, there's the part, I think it's before he shoots the Huragok in the head, but there's like they come onto the bridge and there's I think there are 3 Huragok in a pit, like in the middle of the bridge, and they're like, I think the sentence says they were like cowering in fear.
Yeah.
Or something. And 3 little Huragok like shaking in a pit in fear, like stuck with me.
That hurts.
For years. No, it's not gonna be okay, you guys. Well, maybe not. I can't guarantee that. They're just so cute.
They're wonderful. To the effect of they're so cute. I think it's the eyes. Those like cute little eyes they have.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
And the whistling, because how they communicate.
The chirps.
Like the chirps and like little sign language. They're just adorable, little floaty friends.
I also like that they refer to their neck head thing as their headstock.
Yeah.
It's just so cute. Yeah, they're 6 eyes. And they're actually, Huragok are big.
Yeah.
So we went to Outpost and, they had those, the height chart.
Yeah.
The height wall or whatever with all of the species. And Huragok are on there and they're just like massive.
Yeah.
I was trying to give one a hug. I don't think I could actually like fit my arms around.
I think they were taller than I am, weren't they? I gotta look back at that photo.
Well, they were definitely taller than I was.
Pretty big, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Even grunts were taller than I am.
Aren't the grunts the smallest ones on the
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It just reaffirmed like I would be dead so fast if the Covenant actually existed.
I mean, you say that, but Veda's pretty short too, and she's just a little bundle of fury.
Yeah, no, I'd die.
Yeah, fair.
Beta has what it takes. So yeah, I think that wraps up our favorite Huragok. Is there anything else?
Oh, we didn't talk about how they're named.
Oh,
because, yeah. I mean, quick to adjust, roams alone, lighter than some. Those are pretty unique names.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Interesting. They definitely tell a story.
Where did they get those names?
And they do tell a story.
Yeah. Huragok are cool because they're named after their buoyancy at, quote, birth, creation.
So, like, Huragok float with these gas sacs that they have all over their bodies. And they need, like, just the right balance of gases for them to be buoyant. But it takes a little fiddling around with to get it just right. So yeah, after their parents first, like, fill them up with the gases, depending on how they behave with how they're floating, that's their name. It's like quick to adjust. They, like, I guess his parents got him pretty right on the first go. Roams alone probably just kind of like drifted off on his own. Lighter than some was a bit too light, stuff like that. And like there's like like lists to the left or dense
prone to drift.
Dense as a brick.
Prone to drift. Sometimes sinks.
That's right.
Sometimes sinks was there in Kilo 5. Requires adjustment. That was also Kilo 5. Kilo 5, look, we have our issues.
We do.
But there were lots of good Huragok moments in Kilo 5.
Prone to drift bakes a mean cake. That's canon.
I can't remember if it's him or if it's it might be requires adjustment.
Yes, it was. Yeah, that's right. It was requires adjustment.
He was on Port Stanley, I think.
Yeah, you're right.
More than Prone. Prone was with, well, whatever. There, like I said, lots of Huragok. Sometimes sinks. I may have also helped with the cake. Yeah. I can't remember.
Anyway, Huragok, in addition to also being world-class mechanics, they're excellent bakers.
Yep.
Apparently.
The Huragok from Broken Circle with Zoe is Sluggish Drifter.
Oh my god, yes. Even their names are adorable.
Yeah, so those were some of our favorites and just some things that we love about the Huragok. We can definitely talk more about what the future holds for Huragok in Infinite and future Halo lore. Kilo 5, I think, says most of the Huragok disappeared after the Human Covenant War, kind of like mysteriously. Yeah. We're not sure. We do have groups of them, right?
Yeah.
With the humans, definitely.
I think there's some with the Swords of Sanghelios and other Sangheli groups.
Mm-hmm. But there were supposed to be a Huragok aboard every Covenant ship.
Yeah.
I think that was Covenant law.
Yeah,
right?
that is. They were.
So just think of all the ships.
A lot of ships.
Where are all the Huragok?
They're probably just like really kept close to the chest now that everyone and their grandmother knows about the engineers, at least like as far as Oni and the UNSC go, because Oni and the UNSC, they have a good number of Huragok on our side too. Yeah, there isn't there a sizable population of them in the Infinity too?
There
Considering
is.
how
There is.
complicated the Infinity is.
I think there
Yeah,
is.
that would just make sense, honestly.
Yeah. So, as far as the future, let's talk about Infinite
Hmm.
in particular. What are we thinking?
I would love to see them as like maybe like ambient life, just kind of
Mhm.
hanging around. Like there's the like the ring rhinos and all that, all the little critters that live on the ring. It'd
Mhm.
be fun to like just find a Huragok or two just hanging around. I
Yeah.
I don't want to see any with the banished because
Oh,
the
they mistreat them
they
so
they treat
badly.
them so badly. The harnesses that the engineers in the banished wear are different than the explosive harnesses that they wore in the Covenant, or at least that the brutes in the Covenant made them wear. The way that they work is that they kind of like force the Huragok to not want to repair Forerunner structures, or like prevents them from
Oh.
doing it. So like the Huragok want to like just get out and fix things, but the harnesses are forcing them to just take care of the banished and like repair their vehicles, their equipment. So like all of their instincts are saying, go do this, go over here, go fix this, go see this. But they're forced to stay with the banished. I do not want to see that. I don't want to see those Huragok because I
No.
would cry.
The only way that'd be
Uh
acceptable,
huh.
as I get teary eyed right now, the only way that'd be acceptable is if we save every single one. Okay,
Correct.
this would be really painful to see, yes. But it would be kind of cool to have that feature, as in if you save this Huragok, you can like get some weapon upgrades, or it can provide you with some equipment that you may not have, or some upgrade. I don't know. I'm just like
Right.
spitballing
They hang
that
around
you
with you
wouldn't
for
have
a bit
had
and
it.
give you overshields.
Yeah, seriously.
Just gonna run around all over Zeta and just save for Huragok I can.
Yeah, I feel like that would be, again, it's not that they have never been seen in games before. They were in
They
Reach.
were in Reach.
They were in ODST. Of course, they were a huge part of
Oh yeah.
ODST. So, casual fans, it's not like this would be confusing.
Hmm.
So because a lot of the whole thing about a lot of the Halo games is like, oh, I gotta learn about the other lore in order to know. No, you've seen Huragok. They're here. You know what they do.
Yeah.
So, like, in that sense, this would not be. It wouldn't be difficult.
Hmm.
I'm saying to implement them into the game story
Yeah.
for everybody to understand. Ugh.
And
I don't want to see Huragok being tortured, but I
don't.
feel like that would be. I don't know. It feels like they're trying to give you so many options in the game
Hmm.
on how you want to do it.
I think like
And
saving
I don't
Huragok
know.
would be like the Korok seeds of Halo Infinite.
Okay, except you don't get a gold poo at the end. Spoiler alert for everybody trying to get the Korok seeds, for the 900 Korok seeds. I did it. It was awful.
You
Never
did it.
again.
Nick did it. I did not because I love myself.
Don't do it. Yeah, awful. No, finding Huragok will not be like finding the Korok seeds in Breath of the Wild. God. But yeah, I mean, like, I can just see it. I can just see it working really naturally
Hmm.
with Huragok in Infinite. You don't have to get that weapon upgrade if you don't want to, but if you go to this little side quest, hey, you get to save this Huragok and it'll supply you with an overshield,
Yeah, it'll get you something cool.
or some upgrades.
But more importantly,
I know.
you get a friend.
More importantly, you make a connection that will last infinitely.
God. The end of Infinite is going to be like just Chief hijacking a banished ship along with Brohammer and his army of engineers.
You just see, like, you get the Condor, right?
Hmm.
He's like, I know I saw condors over there. So you get the Condor, and you just fill it with engineers, and you fix it, and you're like, okay, we're
And you
done.
take off.
And
You
just,
say,
like,
"Is that
fly
is that a
off.
CAS Soul Carrier over there? Let's go hijack that and fill it up with even more."
That just becomes the game. You try to hijack the bigger ship
Yeah.
just so you can stuff more engineers in there to save them. Oh man, oh god, we got way off topic there.
No, we didn't.
That's true. No, we didn't. This is exactly what we knew we were starting when we did this podcast. But yeah, I think so. Another thing we kind of see in Point of Light. I won't spoil that, but
Mhm.
we see a few things in Point of Light that I don't know. I could see a Huragok tending to.
Mhm.
Maybe a life worker Huragok
That would be interesting.
tending to. Again, I won't spoil, but I again, this is just pulling in also how much we want to see life worker Huragok back.
Yeah.
Maybe some builder and life worker stuff.
Oh yeah. It's probably like a little bit too late in the game to like petition 343i like, hey, include Huragoks, please. if they haven't already.
Yeah.
So this is mostly
It's
just wishful
probably too
thinking,
late.
but it's still a very fun thought to have.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I really hope there's the novels that are coming along that we just see more Huragok. That's always always a bright spot.
We've got a Veda novel.
We do have a Veda novel coming up.
Kind of doubt there's going to be any mention of Roams Alone, but
We can hope.
who knows? I don't know. We don't really have any hints of any future novels.
Yeah.
I mean, Kelly Gay's pretty much, I wouldn't say wrapped up with the Ryan Forge.
Oh, if Kelly Gay wrote a Huragok-centered story...
Don't even.
That would hurt.
Let's wish that into
Please.
existence.
Kelly Gay,
oh my
if
God.
you're out there listening to us, please write a story about the Huragok. Oh, God. That would be so good.
I don't know if we're going to see any more. I mean, I'm trying to remember where we left off in Kilo 5 with Prone. I guess they're
I think
Legacy of Onyx, I guess.
Prone,
right?
one of the... I don't know if it was Prone or Adge. One of them showed up in Legacy of Onyx.
It was probably Prone.
Yeah.
Disclaimer, I have not read Legacy of Onyx. I think it probably is
Yeah.
Prone.
I read it
Lucy's
once. It was
there,
a while
right?
ago, but one of them was in Legacy.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think Lucy's there
Mhm.
and Prone's probably...
Oh, yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't really... Do you have any other thoughts about, like, in the future, Huragok?
No, I've pretty much just... I've said my piece. Just would love to see them in games. Would love a novel a little bit more centered on them. Or at least just including them.
They just bring so much
Levity.
life... They bring what?
Levity?
Yeah, levity, yeah. They bring so much joy to the Halo universe. And also just a fun dynamic.
Yeah.
They're just an interesting species.
Mm-hmm.
Their origin's really interesting. The way they're named. The dynamic they bring to the gameplay. So, you know, in Reach and ODST, they provide overshields for enemies and eventually yourself
Yeah.
when you're on their side. And I think there's actually two achievements in ODST that it's like like if you kill the Huragok,
Yeah.
to remove the shields. What is it like?
You get naughty for killing a Huragok. And if you go through a whole playthrough without hurting one, you get the Good Samaritan achievement.
Good Samaritan, that's it. Yeah. So those are fun.
Yeah.
And Reach also has... I cannot play through Reach without... Like, I will not kill them. Even on Legendary, I will not kill the Huragok.
At least to be fair, you can run past those encounters just a little bit, I think.
You can. Yeah, you can definitely get by.
I think, though, if you kill,
When
like, the
you're
whole
in New
squad, then
Alexandria.
before... No, I think that was just an ODST. In ODST, if you kill the brute squads, the engineers just pop.
Yeah, I think you're right. But yeah, I mean, we just love them. They're just so interesting in what they do.
Mm-hmm.
One engineer would have had the Suez Canal fixed in 1 minute.
Yeah. Yeah. And, Roams Alone would have had the pandemic sorted out in a day.
Yeah. Do you know how much of a non-issue COVID-19 would be with Roams Alone? He would have helped us all.
We could dream. We could hope. We could wish.
Yep. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. We just wanted to do kind of just a fun episode, and we both kind of just agreed on this is probably the most fun we can have.
Yeah, just
almost the
most
most fun we can have.
But yeah, just a quick little fun topic for us to talk about. Share some
Yeah.
joy in these trying times.
I'm sure that people out there listening love Huragok just as much as we do.
Oh yeah.
They're just so fun.
And they're cute.
And they're cute. I can't wait to learn more about, see some new Huragok faces, six-eyed faces in the future. So we can have Huragok episode 2.
Oh god, yeah. Huragok 2, the floating.
Cute evolved.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, I think that'll wrap up this episode. So thanks again for listening.
Yep.
And
Thanks once more for joining us.
Yeah, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Bye, all.
Bye.